St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Overcast skies here in downtown St. Louis. Busch Stadium. Cardinals wrapping up the homestand this afternoon. With Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is 66 degrees. And both teams come in with identical records of 500 at 12-12. St. Louis will turn it over to the lefty Kim, and he'll get the start today.
Yeah, he's been getting better, like we said at the open, and they need a big start for him today. This is a big game. Got to get this train back on the tracks.
Scary moment yesterday, obviously, with Bryce Harper. He is not in their lineup today. Joe Girardi has shuffled that up. A look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal.
You see here, mostly four-seam fastball, slider, decent changeup. Doesn't throw it a lot, and the curveball not a lot either. He is going to be aggressive at times, most of the time, with the fastballs inside to righties. He's got a nice little crossfire and fastball, and that gets that slider, makes that slider effective because it comes out of the same slot.
Harper and Gregorius not in the lineup today. At the top, it is Andrew McCutchen, Alec Bohm, Rhys Hoskins, 1 home run shy of 100 in his career. Real Muto, Herrera, Kingery, the switch hitter Quinn, Maton, and Nola. Mike Schultz said of last night, earlier today, ugly situation. It was handled about as well as it can be with a 3-batter minimum. It's competition, and in terms of what could happen today, he said anything is possible. And the first pitch is a ball.
Yeah, well, there's 2 ways to look at it, and I think that you address it and we move on. But, you know, you can know one way that it's not intentional and move on, or you can also look at it as 2 of your best players got hit, regardless of being hit in the face or not, which makes it 10 times worse. As a manager, you have to protect your players, and whether, like I said, whether some managers believe it or not, I know the players believe in it, and I know the players don't want anyone to get hurt, but you want to feel protected if you're Bryce Harper and Gregorius.
1 ball and 2 strikes on McCutchen. The next by Kim, hit up the middle. That is Sosa to his left, and he makes the play. Nicely done by Edmundo Sosa. Very good defensive player. He was out early taking ground balls before today's game at short.
Well, that's a heck of a play right there as you look at the Cardinals defense.
And Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. O'Neill, Carlson, Williams in the outfield. Arenado, Sosa, Edman, Goldschmidt on the infield, and Andrew Kisner is behind the plate. Baum is hitting .205 with 2 home runs, and he's driven in 12. First pitch, a strike. Saw another great play by the right fielder last night in Justin Williams. Cardinals are getting to a lot more balls in their in the outfield. The ranks in Major League Baseball, 2019, they were 28th in total chances. 2020, 10th. This year, 4th. Coincides with a little bit more athletic outfield. And right now, they have baseball's best range factor from their outfield position. Let's put outs and assists divided by games played. So you can look at those numbers, Jimmy, and hear about them as Baum is limping a little bit. But what it tells you is that it's an athletic outfield. Now, there's going to be some mistakes made along the way. We've seen that, but they're getting to more baseballs.
Well, I mean, they're, like you said, athletic, young, and that's great and all. But got to make the simple plays. And there's, you know, to reiterate what you're talking about, too many times where they've been either in between, not being in the right spot, or letting the ball fall.
Phillies third baseman taking his time getting back in the batter's box. A count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillies started out their season 4-0. And since then it's just been back and forth. Struggled on the road, and today they're looking for consecutive wins for the first time since that 4-game winning streak to start the year. Pulled and fair just over the third base bag. Baum is thinking 2, and he will stop at first base in a smart move on his part. I think Arenado thought that was a foul ball.
That was a really interesting look at that from up here, because it was hit so hard and you can't really tell where it crosses the bag. Obviously, we're going to get a good look at it here. That is so close. Normally you don't see the ball bounce that far foul after it crosses the bag. And speaking of foul, kind of hoping that was foul, but kidding. I wanted to pass along a hello from Eduardo Perez. Wanted me to give you a hello as he's enjoying his lunch at home in Miami, watching us on TV. So he says, hello, Danny.
One of my all-time favorites, and I know you feel the same way.
The best. Would have never been me if there wasn't a him. He helped me do so much and accomplish so much. If it wasn't for him, I would have never been able to do half the things I did.
All class in his time here in St. Louis, on and off the field.
And he's still helping me.
Here's Rhys Hoskins with 8 home runs. And that pitch taken for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike with a runner at first. The last 8 games for St. Louis decided by 3 runs or less. So after blowouts either one way or another, Cardinals playing in some tight baseball games and getting good starting pitching. Very good. Last 8 games going even further when the Cardinals win those games. 3 earned runs in 26 innings pitched. That is getting it done.
You are just an information machine.
Rhys Hoskins is 2 for 2 with a double against the Cardinal lefty.
Here's so much information, Danny. It's remarkable.
There's a lot of it. You got to decipher what you want to talk about, and as you know, the stats tell a lot of the story. But not all of it, Jimmy.
Not all of it.
So 3-2 the count. Baum, your runner at first, and remember, and that foul ball off his shin. I'm not sure he's going to be running here. We'll see. Very short lead. Not going, and the pitch is lifted in the air out to center. Dylan Carlson there to make the catch, and that's out number 2. JT Realmuto came off the bench last night as a pinch hitter. The Cardinals' streak of 9 straight, 5 innings, 2 earned or less by the starters was snapped last night. But the starters really have given the Cardinals not only a chance to win, but a chance to rest their bullpen. Webb and Miller last night hadn't pitched in 10 days. And a base hit into left.
It's really remarkable if you think about it. You have 2 lefties and guys who use a lot. Think about their appearances over the last couple years, and even Webb this year. 2 lefties, your guys, go-to guys, 10 days off.
Here's Herrera. He is 0 for 8. Phillies been talking about it a lot, trying to find production from someone. They've used 4 different players in center field in the first month. And over half the National League teams, if you combine the pitchers and what they've done at the plate, have been better than what they're getting production-wise from their center fielders. And Herrera pops that foul and out of play. And that is hard to imagine from a center field spot. Any position player spot combined.
I had to do a double take when you said that last night because I just really, sometimes when you listen to people speak and you think, did he just say that correctly?
I just said that correctly.
There's just no way that that's possible.
And the 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Cardinals giving Paul DeJong the day off before they head to Pittsburgh tomorrow night. So Sosa getting a chance at short today. Outside of that, the regulars are in, minus Yadier Molina, who's on the injured list. Game number 25 of this young season for St. Louis. Runners at first and second. Hit back and out of play. 1-2. Herrera has been a Cardinal killer in his career, and not a small sample size. 123 at bats against St. Louis, a .341 average. 6 home runs, 25 driven in, but hitless in this series in his return to the big leagues. And time called. Brennan Miller is the home plate umpire today. James Hoy, the crew chief, down at first. Jordan Baker at second. Chris Segal at third. Swing and a miss. Struck him out in the first of the afternoon for Kim. Half inning in the books, and there's no score. Mike Schultz lineup today: Tommy Edman, Dylan Carlson, then Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Tyler O'Neill. Now with 4 home runs, Andrew Kisner, Justin Williams, Edmundo Sosa, and Kwang Hun Kim. Cardinals get one of the better pitchers in baseball today, and we saw him toss a 2-hitter against St. Louis back in mid-April, and it's the right-hander Aaron Nola, record of 2-1, ERA below 3, and he's awfully tough, Jimmy.
Yeah, he pitched a amazing game back there that first time around, and you can see the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Fastball's not super special, but I think it's got a little bit of late life. It really got in on some guys. You see the cutter and the changeup and the knuckle curve is this pitch to go to. Interesting to see the adjustments this time around. Said earlier in the open, only Yadi and DeJong got hits off of him the last time, and neither one of those guys are in the lineup today.
He's made 7 starts in his career against the Cardinals, ERA of 1.90. And the first pitch taken low by Tommy Edman. He's reached base in all 24 games. Hits in 20 of 24. Hitting .286 this season. And pretty even from both sides of the plate for the switch hitter. 2 switch hitters at the top of the lineup. Now, some would say, why back-to-back switch hitters? Why not stagger them? I
got one for you. Why not?
I agree. I'm okay with it. I think baseball's changed.
Well, I don't even look at it that way, right? You're going to see mostly right-handed starters, and who's your choice to be your choice is who's best served to be the top of your lineup, then who's best served to be hitting second. So no different than asking why do you hit Goldie and Arenado back to back, because they're both right-handers, and then O'Neill, blah blah blah. You just take your best guys for that position and you run with it. Now if you got maybe in a year or two when you have Dylan Carlson more mature, start driving the ball a little bit more, then maybe you kind of slide him down the lineup a little bit. Then I could see you could almost break up Goldie and Arenado. So it's just young kids at the top, and then here come the guys behind them.
3-2. I mean, you think about Dylan Carlson hitting in front of Goldie and Arenado and how he's pitched. He's been in 5 different spots in the Cardinal lineup so far this year. Shift on the right side. The 3-2 pitch. Edman. And a ground ball to Kingery. Makes the play, and there's one down. Phillies with the changes in their lineup. McCutchen is in left. Herrera in center. Roman Quinn is in right. Round the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Bohm, Maton at short today. Kingery at second. Hoskins at first. And Realmuto is behind the plate. Aaron Nola faced the Cardinals on the 18th of April. A shutout on 109 pitches, and he struck out 10.
I think you kind of know what you're going to get. You just have to figure it out, right? When he's behind in the count, he comes right at you. Throws a lot of strikes when he falls back behind in the count. And then with 2 strikes, he tries to put you away. So there's no really guesswork out here. You just have to be ready to hit strikes around the plate. Just be ready to go, and hopefully that he doesn't keep getting strikes 6 inches off the plate all day. Be a long day.
1 ball and 1 strike. Not only his first complete game, but that was the first time he had thrown a pitch in the 9th inning. So he had never gone that deep before. That's it out of play. Last start was Saturday against the Rockies. Phillies won 7-5. And he picked up his second win. 4 runs in 7 innings. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Carlson with a fly ball to Herrera in center field. Out number 2.
Tells you right there that fastball's a little sneaky. You can see up way out in front of the breaking ball is Carlson. And that's something he's really done a nice job of, is staying back. But right there, anticipating some fastballs, just couldn't hold up on the breaking ball.
Arenado is 3 for 12 with a double against the Phillies right-hander. He's on deck. And then last night we saw Goldschmidt hit 1 deep. And that pitch taken high. And here it was last night to center.
Trending up as we spoke last night. It seems to be he is getting more comfortable again at the plate. He's not been swinging and missing as much. He's a little bit more upright. I think he's starting to get locked back in.
Home run last night for Goldschmidt was number 252 of his career. Tied him with some pretty interesting names in baseball history. Brett Boone, Bobby Mercer, former Cardinal Joe Torre. Popped up to the right side. Joe Torre won the 1971 MVP here in St. Louis and a batting title. Hit .363 that year. And that was Goldie's 43rd home run with the Cardinals. One-two pitch. Swung on and missed. And the first strikeout for Nola. Cardinals go in order. And there's no score after 1.
No score in St. Louis as we move to the 2nd. The good news is Bryce Harper is okay. But you couldn't find a scarier moment in baseball than what we saw last night. Harper hit in the face with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball from Genesis Cabrera. Cabrera hit the next batter, D.D. Gregorius, as well. Mike Shildt said after the game, obviously it was unintentional. He also said, I completely understand their aggressive handling of the response. Joe Girardi handled it appropriately. He has to stand up for his guys, but I think in everyone's hearts, they know it was unintentional. And Dan Shildt said that he would have taken Cabrera out from the game after he hit Bryce Harper, but he couldn't. He said that's a failure of the 3-hitter minimum rule. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So his back-to-back hit by pitches. Then McCutchen got the base hit. Kingery retired for the first out. And that's the problem that you have with the 3-batter.
Well, and you thought that would never come up in that kind of a bad situation. You always think it would be a situation where you made a mistake by getting a guy in there and now the matchups are not favorable, but you would never think in a million years that you would need a guy to come out of the game because of safety.
And Mike said after the first pitch to Harper, in a normal situation, he would have been out. He would have gotten him out of the game. Tough start for Roman Quinn, the switch hitter. 2 for 32. 2 balls and no strikes.
And I've had a couple of messages and a couple of texts, a couple of social media DMs. Why not just walk the next guy? Well, I mean, how many more guys do you want to put on base?
So the base hit into left. I think it's clear to say it's the failure of the 3-batter minimum, and this is supposed to speed up games, and it hasn't at all. Nick Maton, very good start to his big league career. Prior to this season, had not played above Double-A.
It's my kind of trip through the minor leagues right there.
There you go. 6 for 16 on the trip, but 0 for his last 10 with 5 strikeouts. 1-out single by Quinn. He's got 3 steals, and he is a threat to steal. Arenado well off the line at third, even with the bag. And that pitch taken for a ball. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. 2018, the time of game was 3 hours. 2019, 3:05. Last year, 3:07. So the 3-batter minimum hasn't made a dent. It's not just that. There are other factors.
Well, whatever the factors are, it's going the wrong direction.
Joe Girardi said if the commissioner is listening, it's the dumbest rule that we've ever put in. And from what I saw, the games are not sped up. That was from Joe Girardi. And he was a guy that was struck on the nose at one point when he played. So he had gone through a situation like Harper did last night. He knows about it. Last night's game was 3 hours and 19 minutes. So I think people want it out. Quinn is running. Throw by Kisner, not in time.
Tell you what, I'm impressed how fast Kisner gets rid of the ball. It's made a heck of an improvement. I know he's a defensive catcher and I know he's the guy for the future, but I can't help to think how much better he's been getting, especially digging that ball out of the dirt. Last night he had to catch a short hop and got the throw off. I've seen him throw some balls sidearm. That ball, that stolen base right there is off the pitcher. But still, heck of a job by Andrew.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Now, I mentioned earlier that Miller and Webb, yesterday was the first time they had thrown in 10 days. That also is a byproduct of the 3-batter minimum, because sometimes you want to get guys in just to get a little work. He hasn't been able to do that. Mike Schilt talked about that on today's Zoom session with the media. Ground ball that's hit to short. Sosa up with it, and the out. Brings in the pitcher, Aaron Nola. Nola is 1 for 10 this year. Strike one. One ball and one strike. In the Central, Milwaukee is 14-10. Cardinals tied with Pittsburgh at 12-12. St. Louis will be at in Pittsburgh tomorrow night. Cincinnati 11-13. Cubs are 10-14.
Is it even PNC anymore? I was just thinking the same thing. Like, you got to hesitate sometimes because you don't know what's happened, and it's like, to me, I'm still calling places that have been something different for years by their old name.
They just changed it in Milwaukee. Changed it down in Miami as well. 2-2 the count with 2 outs and a runner at third. Nola sends a fly ball down the right field line, out of play. Baseball is such an odd game where the Cardinals have pitched so well in their last 8 games, in particular from the starters, and yet they're 4-4.
It's almost like they just can't get the group clicking all at once. It's either the offense or the defense or the pitching.
Strikeout number 2 for Kim. Coming up for St. Louis, Arenado, O'Neill, and Kisner. Oh, what might have been for the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1970s if that guy was still wearing the birds on the bat. April 29th, this date in baseball history, 1981, and it was Steve Carlton, one of the game's all-time greats, with a strikeout number 3,000. He would finish with 4,136. Traded by Bing Devine, 7 years with St. Louis, traded for Rick Wise. And I think one of the most amazing stats that is brought up, Jimmy, and I love hitting you with these kind of stats to get your reaction. In 1972, and there's the potential Cardinals Hall of Famer, Steve Carlton was wearing the uniform of the Phillies in '72. They won a total of 59 games, that Phillies team. Steve Carlton went 27-10 with a 1.59 ERA for a team that won a total of 59 games. So he was going back and forth with Augie Busch with his contract. And I had never heard this until Tim McCarver, who's very close with Steve Carlton, said this with us on the air. There was a salary dispute of about $5,000 as to why he went to the Phillies. And Tim McCarver said on the air, he said, Dan, I don't know if I've ever said this. Anyway, he said Steve Carlton was going down the hallway to sign the contract with the Cardinals. And at that moment, he had been traded. So it was literally minutes away from him agreeing to the deal to stay in St. Louis. And instead, he is traded for difference of about $5,000. What might have been?
I'm still trying to think of, on that Phillies team that year, he might have been the only one having fun.
I would think so.
Oh
59
gosh.
wins, and he's got 27 of them. Here's Nolan Arenado. It's a nasty breaking ball right there. Arenado batting .255 a couple of nights ago. Pair of doubles. He's got 4 home runs. He's driven in 13. He's also made the defensive play of the year for the Cardinals in this series with his back to the infield and a foul pop-up. 2 balls and 1 strike. Arenado here, then O'Neill and Kisner. The oddity of Aaron Nola's appearance on the 18th of April, 9 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 10 or more strikeouts, no walks. It had only been done once before in the 107 years prior to that, to the Cardinals. One time. That's how good he was. Arenado did go, and a strikeout, number 2. Jim Edmonds, Toyota, key to the game.
It's pretty simple today. You got to get the win. Trying to get the split. Cannot let a team come in here and take 3 of 4. Kind of basically for the psyche of the club. Basically to be able to defend your home turf, but also you got to win today so you go on the road with a positive thought or a positive note.
This is coming off a sweep of the Reds over the weekend, too. Well, since the injury that held him out, Tyler O'Neill, 6 games, 6 for 18, 3 home runs. His home run last night was 109.2 miles per hour off the bat. The 1-1 pitch. You know, you think about why you're so intrigued with Tyler O'Neill. Home run, stolen base last night. He's in the 90th percentile in exit velocity. Sprint speed this season is in the 99th percentile.
I was going to say he's got to be in the 90th for both.
Outside corner, paints it. Back-to-back Ks, 3 in a row. And the batter will be Andrew Kisner.
Really nice pitch right here by Nola. Just it's like it's kind of interesting. You see the yellow line there. It's almost like it was a sinker that stayed kind of straight. I didn't see if it was a 2-seamer or a 4-seamer, but had a little almost like it started to kind of cut and then stayed straight. I think he gave up on it and it just kind of came back a little bit.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Andrew Kisner, strike 1.
Be interesting to see if you get a good shot of the rotation on the ball. Some guys have like a little bit of a natural cutter every now and then, or have a little small cutter. So when you go out there, you think it's going to run back and it doesn't, or vice versa.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Kisner. Fights it off, and a base hit into right field.
Going the other way. He's doing a heck of a job. I'll tell you what, he hasn't been hitting the ball hard as of late, but he's been getting base hits, and I think base hits, baby, better off than just hitting the ball hard.
He's get his hands in.
But he's just been, look at his balance right there. He's been staying back. He's been staying balanced, and he's really not trying to do too much. You remember last year, he was lunging a little bit. He was getting his weight out forward, and then all he could do was really just kind of, you can't do much with the pitch anymore because you've gotten so far out in front. And if it's, he did it the other day, and I think he caught himself. He saw a breaking ball so well, but he chased it all the way into the ground and beat it in the ground, and he hasn't done anything like that since. Those are those aha moments when you go back and go like, oh, I saw it so well, I got to take it, not hit it. But he's done a nice job. He's changed a lot, and it's showing up this year big time.
Williams hitting 177, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. Short lead at first by Kisner, and a ground ball right side, Kingery to Hoskins, the stretch and the out. We played 2 and there's no score. Back at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, it's game number 4 between the Phillies and the Cardinals. Download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your Cardinals. Top of the lineup. And that's a familiar spot at times in his career for Andrew McCutchen. And a ground ball that is foul.
I noticed with him is he's been struggling lately over the last couple of years. But you see that swing right there he just took? It is just straight up and through the zone and out. This guy used to stay on the ball. So I hated when he would lead off games because I always thought, wow, 1 pitch away from being 1-0 already.
Remember the great MVP season he had with the Pirates in 2013. They've got a couple of MVPs on their roster. Bryce Harper won it in 2015. That pitch is popped up and out of play. Dodgers have 3. Bellinger, Kershaw, and Betts. Got the Angels with 6 MVPs combined on their roster. Trout with 3, Pujols with 3. Curveball lined off the glove of Sosa. Almost had it.
Just missed it. His ball's hooking a little bit. And so not only does he have to jump and reach up, it starts to run from him to the right a little bit. You can see the spin right there. Just a little bit late. Did you see Goldie in the background? He was jumping too. I love it when the rest of the team is in the game like that. It's so awesome to watch. Guys that really care.
Ground ball left side. Arenado will get the lead man. Get the lead man, keep the double play in order, take a man out of scoring position.
I mean, how nice is it, if you think going back so many years, for the second baseman not to have to worry about getting a double play broken up? I mean, he's watch this. He's just standing there. Well, we're not going to see that part now, but Tommy didn't have to even worry. That's as late as you can get the ball at second base, and he still had a chance to just gather himself. Even though he had been safe, he could have gotten the throw off. And tell you what, you go back just 5, 6, 7 years and you talk to second basemen, I'm telling you, that's the worst part of the job.
Remember our buddy Hal McRae used to put guys breaking that thing up, man. He put them in left field.
And even if you didn't, you knew they were coming, you know, and I tried to slide really hard but stay low and clean and cover the bag, because I felt like you also could hurt yourself as a runner. But I felt like just running hard and getting there on time and sliding was enough to put the pressure on them. You didn't have to hurt them, but sometimes I wasn't too fond of a couple of guys and maybe stood up a little early.
Chase Utley had that slide. It was against the Dodgers, and that changed everything.
I mean, that's maybe the extreme. I mean, I've slid over the top of the bag before. But I also think that as a second baseman, you get lazy to the wrong person, and that's what you're going to get. And that's the way the game is. That's why you're not lazy. And those guys have their head on a swivel, because the way the game is played, hard. And if that's your position, second base, shortstop, you better pay attention and you better work on getting out of the way, trying to turn it into a play. It's just the way it goes.
It was Ruben Tejada that Utley slid into, and that would break his leg and change the rules of the game, kind of like the Buster Posey play at the plate. Rhys Hoskins sitting on 99 home runs. Lines it into center. Carlson there.
And he's crushed 2 balls to center field, but on the line. 2 good swings too.
JT Realmuto.
Catcher JT Realmuto.
Realmuto decided to stay with the Phils. He got 5 years, $115 million. Don't see that very often with a catcher contract. Pitch taken inside. Outfield very deep. And look at all that room on the right side.
I mean, that's a lot of room for a guy.
And he hits it that way into the gap in right center. Carlson quickly back into the infield. The relay to the plate, no throw. And it's 1-0 on the 2-out double by JT Realmuto. 2 for 2.
Say that's a lot of room for a guy with just 2 home runs this year. Really, that's not the important part. But 97 home runs in his career, 2,700 at bats. I don't back up. I crowd the gap or take away one of the corners that you think that Kim will not need. So with Kim pitching, you have to take the hitter in account and say, okay, am I going to need to cover the right field corner or the left field corner? And other than that, I got to bunch everything else. So move over and move down the line if you're left field, and the right fielder's got to be in right center field a little bit more. You got to take away the gaps. I wouldn't worry about the ball going over your head.
Here's Herrera. Struck out swinging back in the first inning. Runner at second, Realmuto. Big gap in right center. Kim has been working with runners on base basically the entire afternoon, so his pace not the pace that we're accustomed to, which is usually very quick. One ball, one strike.
There's that occasional breaking ball right there. The pitch arsenal, I think that was about 6 or 7%.
This weekend, the Cardinals have Gant, Flaherty, Wainwright lined up for the Pirates. Their bullpen has been exceptional, one of the best in baseball, and a surprise this season. A lot of people didn't think the Pirates would even be around the 500 mark at even this point in the season.
I always thought the Pirates always somehow come up with a sneaky bullpen.
There's a ground ball to second. 2-out double by JT Realmuto. Midway through 3, and it's 1-0. May 3rd through the 6th, Budweiser gifting 7,500 fans ages 21 and older the 10th Stein in the Championship Series, highlighting the Cardinals World Championship against the Yankees back in 1942. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Irinola has struck out 3, allowed 1 hit, no walks, and a 1-0 lead. First pitch taken high by Edmundo Sosa. Sosa with a base hit into center. The second Cardinal hit.
Pretty good swing right there. Staying out over the plate. Ball runs back a little bit. Nice and aggressive. Look at that two-seamer that just runs back over the plate, and Sosa makes him pay. This is a great swing. You know what else I love about it? If he really wanted to, he could have pushed a double out of that. He was running so hard. He was a third of the way around first base when the center fielder picked up the ball. And I'm not saying I would have kept going because he would have made it, but I'll tell you what, he was flying.
Kim drops down a bunt, rolling foul. You may have noticed the patch being worn by the Phillies this year. The sleeve of their jerseys to honor late slugger Dick Allen. 15 seasons with the Phillies. It's a Hall of Fame vote in December. There's going to be 10 candidates on the Golden Days committee ballot. And those are the players from 1950 to 1969. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Nothing in 2.
You see these guys like Sosa come up, and we were talking about O'Neill, which talking about the power and the sprint speed and all that. Sosa right there, off the bat, 106 miles an hour on a base hit, and this is something you can't teach. He ran a 4.7 to first, which is pretty decent for an average running guy. Sprint speed of 29 miles an hour. So talk about being the raw power and the sprint speed. He's another one of those guys that has both.
He's been in the system developed by the Cardinals for a long time. He was out of options. Didn't have a great spring. Has always been known to have an exceptional glove.
And I'm sorry, I need to reiterate, it's feet per second, but still, it's, we talked about a lot of guys at the top of the level of this game are right around 30, 31 feet per second. He's at 29, so.
There he goes running, and the pitch is bunted foul.
That is unlike him. That is an awful attempt to bunt the ball down the third base line.
So 4 strikeouts for Nola.
Wow.
And Sosa back to the bag at first.
You won't see that happen very often out of KK.
In steps Tommy Edman. Tommy 8 for 25 against the Phillies this year. He's been so good at Busch Stadium. His career average 317, called up a couple of years ago. Jed Jerko got hurt. Jerko no longer in Major League Baseball. He is managing independent baseball, and he's doing it in West Virginia, in Morgantown, his hometown. Had a 2-hit night. Cardinals victory in this series. 25 times he's had 2 or more hits in a game here at Busch Stadium. A short lead at first by Sosa. It's back in 2014. Aaron Nola was the 7th overall pick at that draft. Number 1 was Brady Aiken by Houston, no longer in baseball. Cardinals that year had Luke Weaver at number 27, Jack Flaherty number 34. Weaver now pitching with Arizona this season, 1-2. Part of the deal with Carson Kelly that got Paul Goldschmidt. And Carson Kelly is raking right now. He's got 6 home runs, and an on-base percentage of .507 for the Diamondbacks.
I'll tell you what, I really like that kid, and I'm really surprised because I know we don't get to see very much of the backup catchers here, but I just didn't think he was ever going to get enough at bats to do that. So that's like the coolest thing ever, when you finally get a chance to go and play somewhere and then you show the world that you can play. And I just can't be happier for someone like that.
And I know it's a small run of games, but this is a chance for Kisner.
Well, oh, for sure. And look what he's doing.
Yep.
And he'll get more comfortable. He'll start driving the ball, but I think he's doing a great job right now of just trying to stay within himself and work on his defense and do whatever it takes.
Sosa running, quick tag, got him. It's one of the best in the business behind the plate.
By far. Looked like Sosa slowed down a little bit to slide there.
His release time is
ridiculous.
Incredible.
Last time we saw him throw somebody out, he was below the 2.0. That is close. Pop time, which is very, very good for catchers throwing the ball from home to second.
Realmuto is 15 of 17. Think about that. 15 for 17 stolen base attempts since 2019. He's got them. That's incredible. You just eliminate a running game.
I know that's little increments of 0.0 seconds, but what do you think that was right there at home to second? 176.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Three and two with 2 outs and nobody on. One plate umpire cleaning up the plate. Edman grounded to second first time up, and the 3-2 pitch. Tommy rips it into right field. Quinn is over back and makes the catch.
What a play. What another great swing by Tommy Edman.
Phillies on top after 3. It's game number 4. The Phillies and the Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The T-Mobile coverage cam. Down the left field line here at the ballpark. Scott Kingery, Roman Quinn, who just made that fine play in right, and Nick Maton. The Phillies were so high on Kingery a couple of years ago. Before he had played one major league game, they gave him 6 years and $24 million. Lining the ball all over the place, and that's going to drop for a base hit.
Oh, you can't throw it out there any better than that.
First hit of the season. 1 for 2 today.
Right fielder.
So again, Kim is going to have to work from the stretch.
Little cutter right there, makes a great quality pitch because of the shift. Tell you what, there's no shift on that play. Somebody catches that ball. Second baseman.
Easily.
That's the thing too. I mean, I love the shift and all, but when you make a good pitch as a pitcher, you want your out.
Is Roman Quinn. Been around for a while now. 10 years in professional baseball. He was a second-round pick in 2011. Nothing in 2. He had the fastest time from home to first base last year of all major leaguers. That's why you saw third baseman Arenado in 3.94 seconds. Second fastest sprint speed of all major leaguers a year ago. We just saw him make that really good play in right too off the bat of Tommy Edman. Plays center. He can play left as well.
And if he hits a ground ball here, you better hurry up.
The 1-2 pitch. There's your ground ball. Arenado. How about a turn? And not in time.
Wow. Flying.
He can pick him up and put him down.
What, good pitching, nice defense, home runs, and sprinting like this is so cool to see. I mean, he is just flying down the line. Watch this. It kind of doesn't even look like he's really trying. Ooh-wee.
Picked up a stolen base back in the second, his 4th of the year. He's at first base now with one out. Nick Maton.
You know what I always tell you? I wish I had just a little bit of that speed. Just a little bit.
And he's picked off. Goldschmidt, the throw, the tag, the outs. Picked off. Goldie knew he had to hurry too on that throw.
Well, they almost caught Sosa by surprise. I think he had. Watch this, how late Sosa is right here. He saw it, but then he's like, oh.
Yep.
He's coming at me. Tell you what, he's one of those guys that when you pick over, if he just keeps running, you're gonna have trouble. Period. Not might have trouble. If he picks up his leg as a lefty and gives him that slow hang move, I don't know as a right-handed thrower if he got a good jump or not. If you could throw him out, if he just took off and ran full speed. So the thing is right there for him, maybe you just go and not try to get caught in between, but easier said than done, but it would be interesting to watch.
Just off the plate. Well, you'd love to get the 8th place hitter and have Nola lead off the 5th. Missed in, 3-1.
All right, good try.
I think it's been kind of a laboring start for Kim. Normally, again, the pace is quicker. Now it's a byproduct of runners on. It's going deeper into counts though today. 3-2.
And I think sometimes too you see the laboring because you're not seeing the free and easy as normal. Maybe the velocity isn't there, so he's having to push a little bit. And when you have to do that as a pitcher, you're not as sharp.
Fly ball right center. Williams can't get there. Bare hands it, and he'll hold Maton to a single. Thought we might have one of those diving attempts and catches again.
Well, I don't know about you, but I just don't know how that ball can fall in the outfield. That means everyone is way too deep and no one's getting a good jump. Way too deep. Exactly. My thoughts exactly right there. KK.
Here's Nola, the pitcher, back to Kim, off his glove, but Edman there to back him up. Coming up for St. Louis, their half of the 4th, Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado. Phillies by a run. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. Say they're playing hooky, but they're too young for school. Great to have them at a day game here at Busch Stadium. Help Cardinals Care raise funds to help further its mission of caring for kids in the St. Louis community. Bid on autographed items, baseballs, jerseys, photos, and more. New auctions are posted the first day of each homestand. Cardinals.com/CC auctions to bid. Nola finishing up his warm-up pitches here for the bottom of the 4th. Cardinals have Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado. Mentioned that Aaron Nola was 7th overall pick in 2014 and then made his debut the year after he was drafted. He's been their opening day starter every year since 2018. Originally drafted by the Blue Jays, did not sign. Used to watch his brother. His brother's in pro baseball and said, that's what I want to do. Used to mimic him as a kid. And he's come out to be one of the best starters in the game. Joe Girardi loves him. Went to LSU, pitched in the SEC. And his teammate and roommate was one Alex Bregman, the third baseman of the Houston Astros. Dylan Carlson to lead it off. First time up, fly to center. His average in the 2 spot since he moved there is .435. And that's second best in all of baseball. Marte of Arizona at .462 in this spot in the lineup. Fouled back. The other thing he's doing is seeing a lot of pitches. See Carlson, Hayward, Pujols for Kyle. We're talking about players, rookies age 22 or younger, and the patience that he's showing at the plate. To short, Kingery. One down. Paul Goldschmidt struck out back in the first inning. Nola struck out 4. He's allowed 2 hits and no walks. That breaking ball is the 6th highest spin rate and the 6th fastest velocity. It's a hard curve that he's throwing. Popped up to the right side. Hoskins over near the Cardinal dugout. Makes the catch right in front of the camera well. 2 quick outs.
Very quick outs.
Hoskins not known for his glove, but his bat. And comes up with a play in foul territory. Nolan Arenado struck out swinging on a check swing back in inning number 2. Outfield deep there straight away. There's that curveball, drops in for strike 1.
That is a big curveball. It's so tight too. It's just like it kind of comes out. You know, when you're a hitter, you see the ball just jump out of the hand. A lot of curveballs. So you'll see the release point, and then all of a sudden you'll see ball above the hand. That tells you right away curveball. Guys that throw really hard curveballs, like you said, with the spin rate and the velocity, the ball doesn't jump up out of the hand. So it almost looks like it's coming out slider fastball, and then you don't recognize it until it's halfway, and sometimes it's too late. And that's when you see the swing like Dylan Carlson just took, where he's just kind of already committed.
Arenado with a fly ball. Right center. And Herrera making the catch. 7-pitch inning for Aaron Nola. 5th inning rolls in when we come back, and the Phillies trying to take 3 of 4.
We go to the 5th at Busch Stadium with the Phillies leading at 1-0. Dylan Carlson is 10 for 25 since the Cardinals moved him into the number 2 spot in their batting order. Carlson is having an outstanding season. He says one of the keys for him has been his ability to adapt. He told me pitchers have been attacking him differently this season. Dylan said, I think it goes both ways. They've made adjustments. I've made some adjustments. It's the old cat and mouse game. It'll be fun to see what they try to do next. And Danny Carlson says he thinks some of his success dates back to last season, when after that slow start he was sent back to the alternate side. He said it reminded me to trust myself and just go out and play. Danny, he's doing just that.
McCutchen at the plate here. Carlson has reached base safely 20 of the 24 games he's played in. Hitless today. But among rookies in the National League, leads in hits, walks, and batting average. Not a bad start.
We keep talking about him. Everyone's going to expect him to get hits in every game.
He was pitched so tough last year. Pitched him backwards the entire year. When we say pitch you backwards, you're not seeing a lot of fastballs.
Yeah, and that's just the basically exploitation of a minor league hitter coming up and thinking he's just going to continue to do what he did down there. And it's just the growing pains. It's just, you know, one of those things. And sometimes I feel like if you don't really mention it, and if you just say, hey, oh, you know, that was just, you were a little out in front, you're a little behind. You almost got to say, listen, this is what they're doing. This is why they're doing it. And this is what happened before. And we talked about it on the air, but sometimes when you're playing, things just happen so fast. You just can't soak enough information of the right kind in. You kind of think about everything that's going on during the game and not basically walk away from the game for a little bit and start to talk to other people and get more information than just hitting, putting your foot down, stay balanced, blah, blah, blah. There's some other things out there sometimes.
Alec Bohm singled over the bag at third base, hit off the sidewall, and was left stranded back in the first inning. Grounded into a fielder's choice. 1 ball and 1 strike. Keep an eye on the pitch count. It's at 75 now for Kim. Cardinals have O'Neill, Kisner, Williams coming up. The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Well, Kim has allowed 7 hits today. That's a career high, but yet you look up, it's only 1-0. One ball and 2 strikes. And the next from the Cardinal lefty, hit out of play. This date back in 06, Albert Pujols set a major league mark for home runs in the month of April, his 14th of the month.
Yeah, everybody on the team was aggravated with him because we were struggling a little bit as a group hitting home runs. And a lot of the guys on that team, Scotty included, drove the ball up the middle a little bit, center, left center. And we were a little frustrated with the stadium, and Albert was making it look small.
He did that with a lot of ballparks.
Oh, man. I started wanting to close my eyes when he was hitting. I'm frustrated.
There's 2 outs. Albert not playing every day with the Angels in the final year of his contract with Los Angeles. His career WAR is 100 now.
It's got to be the best ever, or getting close.
He's up there.
Well, I mean, like, I think it would still be hard to measure the WAR from back in the day, especially if you had to use defense in there too, because you really can't see what kind of defense those guys played back in the day.
He's 32nd all time in WAR. Number 1 is Babe Ruth. Pujols has played in 19 games this year, 5 home runs, and has driven in 12. There's Rhys Hoskins, twice is lined out to center. 2 balls and 1 strike. Back in 2006, he wound up with 49 home runs and drove in 137. Most home runs that he hit in a single season. 2-2. Cardinals did make a move after the game last night. Johan Oviedo returned to the alternate site, and Seth Elledge is available and ready in the Cardinals bullpen, the right-hander. We saw him last year make his major league debut.
I was explained today a little bit, which I didn't know about the alternate site. and you've talked about being over there in Sojay, but it's basically like a mini spring training camp, and they get up early in the morning and they work out and they run through their day. It's just like they were here, but just not playing in a game each and every night.
Minor league season, by the way, will download the McDonald's app to grab a $1 any size frozen beverage every game day. McDonald's. It's 1-0, and the bottom of the 5th rolls in. I'll tell you what, those minor league players are chomping at the bit to see someone other than their teammate in the batter's box or on the mound.
Well, and then here's the thing too, there's not enough guys to actually play a game. There's only about 9 or 10 position players, so a lot of the guys are getting work. They're having to run in groups. Like I said, spring training, it's like pitchers practice, but then they throw some guys on defense just to make up, get them some live action. So it's a makeshift situation, which is great, but then it's also hard to it's hard to replicate any kind of game speed when you're not in a game. And I'm talking even when you're hitting against your own guys, pitcher has the advantage unless you're one of those guys that just can't shut things off or slow things down. Like Albert, he used to hit home runs in spring training off our own guys when most of the guys didn't even want to be in there. And so the minor league season is coming along. I believe Tuesday-ish it starts. And that's going to be a good chance for a lot of these guys to start getting back into competition.
Unique schedule this year where teams play from Tuesday through Sunday, off days on Monday, and they play 6-game series. So we think about the bad blood that may carry over from a game like last night. Think about what may happen in minor league baseball when you're facing a team 6 straight days.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, the Texas League, when I played in 1992, the travel was so spread out that I believe we played 5-game series all the time. So something that's not unusual, but you're right. The games have changed and guys are getting a little sick of each other and what have you, and maybe some Twitter wars. Who knows? But yeah, I remember playing those days and playing 5 games in a row and then traveling again. So it'll be very unique and interesting. But you know what? Put it in perspective. At least they're playing.
Absolutely.
But we can always say that, right? Well, at least you're working. At least you're playing. But the backstory is there's some guys, and I didn't think about this until I think it was maybe Mo had told me, there's some guys that might have lost their career because of last year not getting a chance to play at all. So it kind of put a lot of pressure on, you know, the guys that got drafted, the guys who didn't get drafted, guys that didn't get a chance to play. They're on the bubble and new guys coming in. So it's really been a trying situation for not only the minor leaguers, but the organization as a whole, because I think we've also, as a group, not just Cardinals, lost some teams and some affiliations.
A bunch of minor league teams have been eliminated. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 5. Now, if you're a scout, you love it. You can actually, you know, stay in one city or wherever you're going and really get a full evaluation over a week's time of a couple of different teams. Now, pitching wise, are organizations going to be piggybacking their pitchers? I think a lot of teams and a lot of organizations will do that.
I mean, I think like we talked about last year, it's basically just ride the hot hand. I think right now in the minor leagues, there'd be no, you know, hold nothing back as far as anything that you can come up with to get your guys to be successful. You try. And it doesn't have to be an organizational thing. Sometimes you might have guys that are ready to go at a different level, and then maybe a double A, you know, you can stretch your guys out. Maybe triple A because they've been up here. It might be a different story. Who knows? I would be just open to anything to get guys on the field and get them as much playing time as possible.
There's an 0-1. Andrew Kisner at the plate, 0-2.
And the side note to that too is, Danny, is if you don't have a prospect that will be in the big leagues this year, you can do anything you want as far as pitching. You can go 2-3 innings, you know, and get them more experience, because I think there's a few things. You guys can get a lot of experience by grinding out through a game and trying to figure out how to get through a game. But also you can get a lot of experience by going out there for 3 or 4 innings, pulling back, thinking about what you went through, and then the next, you know, 4 days later, 3 days later, do it again and do it again and do it again, instead of having to wait 5 or 6 days, especially with those off days. Just the more opportunities you get to get out there and learn, the better you are.
And the 1-2 pitch to Kisner. Sticks the bat out. Fly ball, shallow center, and it drops in for a hit. Herrera kept it in front. Kisner trying for 2 and save at second base. The hustle of Andrew Kisner, and he's 2 for 2.
Tell you what, that young man at center field covered some serious ground, didn't he? Got a pretty good jump too. I thought he was going to catch this ball. I think that if he leaves his feet, and he can leave his feet, he's got a really good chance of catching that ball. Great hustle right there by Andrew. This kid's turning into a player right in front of our eyes.
Ruled a single and an error on Herrera, his first.
That's a tough error.
Big time. So here is Justin Williams. Jordan Hicks starts to throw in the Cardinal pen. Cardinals got a single from Kisner in the second. Single by Sosa in the third. He was erased on a caught stealing. And now the base hit to center by Andrew Kisner. Williams grounded out to second his first time up. In the 0-1. So as we play here with 1 out in inning number 5, Nola with just 61 pitches. Shift on the right side, check on Kisner. The long look, and now here it comes. The 1-1 pitch. Boy, he's been getting the corners on both sides of the plate.
He has. He's been consistent. And sometimes when you're consistent, certain umpires will stay with you. Home plate umpire Brennan Miller has been giving those pitches all day long. But I'll tell you what, as a hitter, it's still hard to swing at them.
Cardinals with their first plate appearance with a runner in scoring position today comes in inning number 5. And the 1-2 pitch by Nola. Off the plate, 2-2.
I love it too. You know what? He's smart. He's going out there. He's trying to go off the plate or around the edges. He knows if he throws a couple of balls out there for strikes, he's going to get guys start leaning and trying to swing. Wouldn't be surprised right here if he doesn't try to come inside and underneath. Now that he's got him really leaning out over the plate to cover. You get hurt too many times when you just keep trying to go to the well away. One too many, away, and you get him to chase, and all of a sudden now he's diving out there, and if you don't get it out there far enough, it gets blasted.
The 2-2. And a strikeout of Williams. That's 6 today for Nola. Mentioned earlier, it was the great pop-up time of Realmuto to get Sosa. One of the fastest we've seen in baseball so far this year. StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Danny, the fastest.
Is that number 1 now?
Pop time of the year so far, in almost a whole 1/10 of a second. Next is 1.83. That was 1.76. 1.87. I think they're missing some in here, but what do I know?
So the intentional walk and the first by Nola, and there's the fastest pop-up times. Cardinals will pinch hit with Matt Carpenter here for Kim, so his day is through after 5 innings, 7 hits. That's a career high allowed by him. 1 run, struck out 4, and no walks. And so runners at first and second, and Matt Carpenter will be the pinch hitter. Cardinals will go to their bullpen, and Jordan Hicks will come in the 6th.
I think those pop times we saw on there were official times, because in my group of stats I got Yachty at 189, being how old? 36 years old.
38.
38 years old. That's right. 189. So he's still at the top of his game as far as that's concerned too.
Any way you want to look at it, it's great.
Well, any way you want to look at it, it'd be really nice. Carp get a hold of one right here. It's getting
First
better
pitch, you
and
strike.
better. Taking pitches better and better. Looks better. Hit a ball hard last night. Got robbed. Hit a ball in the gap the other day on the nose. Got caught, got ran down.
Carpenter against Nola, 3 for 19. Pair of doubles, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts. The tying run in scoring position. Go ahead run at first base. The 0-1 pitch. Carpenter with a drive into deep right. It's at the wall and it's gone. Pinch hit. 3-run bomb. Carpenter. 3-1 St. Louis. I thought Quinn had it at first. He was oh so close. Carpenter off the bench sends a jolt through Bush.
Told you it's been coming. He's getting closer, keeping his weight back. That front foot locked in, and wow.
Oh, he did have it for a second.
If he catches this ball, we might need the defibrillator for Carpenter right now.
And another curtain call for Matt Carpenter with his 2nd home run this year. Here's Tommy Edman. Oh, did he need that? And did the Cardinals need that?
I needed that. I've been talking about him for the last 4 days. Everybody's looking at me like, yeah, he's going to turn it around. Ha, ha, ha.
Nothing in 2. So Matt Carpenter, the pinch hit home run, 3-1 St. Louis. 0-2 on Tommy Edman, who is 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to second and hit one to the track and right. In and out of the glove of Quinn. And Cardinals have made a habit of this in this series with scoring runs with 2 outs. Do so again here in this 5th. Popped up left side. Bohm, foul territory, puts it away. Matt Carpenter off the bench, and he strikes with a 3-run bomb. Quinn had it, and then he didn't. 3-1 St. Louis. Well, Matt Carpenter, the pinch hit home run, and it's now a 3-1 St. Louis lead. Kim out of the game, 5 innings, 1 run on 7 hits, struck out 4, no walks, and gives way to Jordan Hicks. Our Chevy called to the pen. Hicks will have Realmuto, Herrera, and Kingery. Realmuto is 2 for 2. We've seen Hicks miss a lot of times. Jimmy, it's high. Seems a little bit rushed at times.
Well, you know, you talked about his delivery being sped up or shortened, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. there's still room for improvement or work there, because like I said, no matter how much you work in the offseason, you can't duplicate this adrenaline and this speed of the game. And for hitters, it's the speed of the game. For pitchers, it's the adrenaline. So both sides have to kind of calm down and work through things. But especially with the pitcher, he's got the ball in his hand all the time, and he's got to really understand everything that's going on pitch by pitch. And the hard thing is, when you get out of whack, you can't go after 3 pitches back in the dugout and look at your highlight and say, what did I do wrong here? You're stuck out there, and you got to figure it out on your own. And I think that's why talk about Adam Wainwright, how we've been talking about him, why he's always been so good and why he's still good, is because he can make adjustments on the fly.
May 20th of 2018, these two in a unforgettable matchup. 104 Jordan Hicks, 105 Jordan Hicks. And remember, Herrera was taken forever in between pitches. It was a strikeout wild pitch. Some of the hardest pitches thrown in baseball history. There you go. 100.
Just got to keep that shoulder tucked. Make sure when you're trying to speed up a little bit that you're not trying to clear that shoulder a little bit quicker to get your arm out there, because now the timing sometimes will be off from what you've been doing your whole life. Just slow it back down. Concentrate on staying square to the target.
The 0-1 pitch. It's a ball and a strike. Herrera has struck out and also grounded out to second. The sun peeking through the clouds.
That's
here.
Nice, isn't it?
Yep, Busch Stadium. They had the lights on about 10 minutes ago. They stay on, but it was dark here. And the 1-1 pitch by Jordan Hicks.
That is nasty. You see the movement on that ball at 90 miles an hour?
Changeup at 90.
I think that's my ground ball pitch right there. I just throw that over and over and over. Just no one's hitting that ball in the air. No one. If you can throw that anywhere near the zone, then imagine 99 up top.
7 pitches. 1 has been a strike. The 2-1 pitch by Hicks. 2-2. Cardinal pitchers throwing just 61% strikes this year, and that's at the bottom of Major League Baseball. The 2-2 hit up the middle. Sosa takes it himself, off balance throw, safe at first.
You just let the runner call the play. It looked like he got down the line in a hurry, but it's so hard to tell from up here. Never know. Split seconds are so quick. Bang, bang.
Really in between as to whether or not to flip it. Took it himself, off balance, got something on it. Did he beat it out? And he did. Right call.
Great call.
There's Scott Kingery, grounded out to third. And a bloop base hit into right field. Cardinals had the shift on. Kingery 1 for 2, playing shortstop today. Check that at second base today. And the first pitch, a ball. The 1-0.
Good fastball right there. That's just top of the zone. That just looks like it's 110 miles an hour when it's up there, especially when you think he's got some sink. Ball's going to come down, and that four-seamer up top just gets above your eye level, and it is on you in a hurry.
Herrera the runner at first base, and the 1-1 pitch by Jordan Hicks. Pulled foul. Two and two. Cardinals looking ahead to the bottom half of this inning. Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado 2, 3, and 4. They've been out hit in this game 7-4, but a pinch hit 3-run homer by Matt Carpenter has given them the lead 3-1. Hicks pitched over the weekend, has not appeared in this series. The Friday night game against the Reds gave up 3 runs, a couple of walks. Every appearance, his last 5 has included a walk. 2, 2, 1, 2, and 1. And again today. Three-two pitch. Herrera not running. Swung on and missed, and a strikeout for Hicks. May 7th, 8th, and 9th. Cardinals host the Rockies. 10,000 fans take home a Cardinals purse courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Don't miss out on this popular item. Find your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. First strikeout for Jordan Hicks. 5th Philly to strike out in the ball game today. Here's Quinn, who is 1 for 2 with a stolen base. Fastball and a strike. Nothing in 2. Cardinals' last pinch hit home run was back in 2019 prior to Matt Carpenter's. Did not have one a year ago. It was Matt Wieters in a day game late that season off of Max Scherzer. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Got him. Pair of strikeouts for Jordan Hicks. The bottom of the 6th coming up. 3-1 Cards. Budweiser, what's on tap? And we'll have all 3 games for you on Bally Sports Midwest. John Gant, JT Brubaker tomorrow. Jack Flaherty, Trevor Cahill will go Saturday. Adam Wainwright will go on Sunday. All 3 on Bally Sports Midwest.
I thought it was Bally Sports, but you're right. It is Bally Sports Midwest.
Aaron Nola with just over 70 pitches.
You watch Dylan Carlson now, and we were talking about this, but I've noticed it in the last couple days. I think they've started to figure out that he's taking, when you get attacked with fastballs, they've been attacking him around the zone with the fastball, but throwing off speed for strikes. Well, you know what they're doing now? They're just throwing off speed for strikes because they know he's taking the tough pitches. So eventually he's going to get a fastball in the zone. He's going to hit it. So what they're doing to him now is not even trying to set him up. They're just trying to get him to hit the off speed stuff, trying to get him out front.
Here's a 1-1. Yanked foul. Got the fastball there and was ready for it. Cardinals using a 4-man bench with Elledge called up. So they've used Carpenter, pinch hit homer. They've got Dean, DeYoung, and Sanchez on the bench. And a strikeout of Dylan Carlson, number 7 today for Nola.
You can see right there a little bit in between. Now it's starting to be that, that learning period again, that learning curve. Everything was great. Did a really good job. He was hitting, then he was taking pitches. It kind of comes in waves, right? Like you start hitting, get a little bit more comfortable, so you start taking good pitches that you don't usually swing at, and then all of a sudden they start attacking you differently, and then backwards again, where a lot of off speed early, and then trying to get you out with the fastball. But not trying to get you out with the fastball, they're trying to get the fastball by you because they've set you up with all the off-speed pitches early.
1 out and nobody on. Paul Goldschmidt 0 for 2 today. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Goldie was born near Philadelphia, Wilmington, Delaware, and moved to Texas when he was 1. Played at Texas State and all the way to the big leagues. 2-1 pitch. Curveball hit out of play. The 2-2 off the end of the bat to center, and Herrera is there. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
What's more convenient than over 100 helpful locations? How about one you can take with you? Wherever life's path leads you, we're just a tap away with Great Southern Mobile Banking.
Here's Nolan Arenado. He is struck out, flied out to shallow center, 0 for 2. Average at an even 250. So the Pirates tomorrow night, 2nd team ERA behind San Diego in the National League in their bullpen. It's not the Shark Tank anymore, but somehow they find a collection of guys to get people out, and so far it's working. They had Melanson and Jason Grilly.
Well, it's funny, we were talking about this earlier, and as I just looked at the bottom line, I think they gave it up last night for the first time in a while.
Here's a 1-0. Grounder hit to third. Boom. It's Arenado. He's hitless today.
Cards up 3-1 thanks to Matt Carpenter's 3-run pinch hit home run. Mike Schultz says if there was even a hint of Genesis Cabrera hitting Bryce Harper intentionally, it would be a different issue. But he says there's not, so they're trying to help Cabrera move forward. Schultz said you're looking for a balance between not reacting enough and overreacting. Schultz says Cabrera feels horrible about it. We want people to know He's not some loose cannon guy out there. He's worked hard to go from thrower to pitcher. And Danny Schultz says it was a bad situation all the way around, but they want Cabrera to move past it.
He's going to have to, and that is really the other side of this. Your concern initially, clearly, is with Harper, Gregorius, but then you think about the mental aspect of trying to come back if you're Genesis Cabrera. And Mike Schultz saying today probably won't see him in there this afternoon. That's a fair ball down into the right field corner. Maton to second base, and he'll stop there, and the tying run will come to the plate. Joe Girardi will go to his bench. Be the switch hitter Andrew Knapp coming off the bench.
Batting for the pitcher, number 5, Andrew Knapp.
So Nola out of the game. So we play here in the 7th inning.
It's kind of what you wanted, but you wanted it a while ago. Cardinals fortunate enough to have a 2-run lead with him exiting.
Mike talked about guys like Andrew Miller today on Zoom, and then Miller was at the pregame Zoom with the media about how they will get with Genesis Cabrera, talk to him, try to get him through this. Miller also talked about his role with the club this year, not seeing him in those late inning situations and pitching. Now this is a higher leverage situation, but we've seen him more with, games going one way or another, getting an inning here or there. Had a 7-pitch inning last night with a strikeout against the Phils. Nothing in 2. It's been a wide strike zone today.
We'll say that again.
Wide strike zone.
Wide strike zone. You got that right.
Harper, Joyce, Miller, Gregorius on the bench. 4 lefties and Knapp here, the switch hitter. And the 0-2 instead of check on Maton at second base, who's 2 for 3. The 0-2 pitch fouled back. Cardinals as a team, they've walked 3 batters or less in 10 games this year. 700 winning percentage in those games. Don't walk anyone.
No. Especially early in the inning.
They've allowed 1 walk today. That was Hicks' leadoff walk in the 6th, but no damage done. And the 0-2 pitch fouled back. Phillies are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position today. The 0-2 pulled foul. The sun still peeking through the clouds. You can see it there in Big Mac land.
That's about it. A little bit of left field and sliding over to the beautiful center field of the stadium, which I love so much.
1-2 did not go. The 1-2 pitch, pulled foul again.
Like that breaking ball sometimes when he struggles a little bit doesn't have that same bite. You know, it's just not that. You saw that breaking ball right there was a little bit flatter, so it comes across the zone and stays in the zone a little bit longer. The breaking ball that he used to throw kind of had a little bit more down and in break towards the feet. And so now you can see like a hitter can go out there if he's trying to throw it around the plate and still get out there and kind of pull it, where before it would just eat guys up at the toes.
Also, velocity has been down a little bit this year.
It's just crazy with tinkering with your arm angle, and if you don't feel good, do feel good, you drop your arm a little bit. Not getting full extension, which we've talked about, can change so much of the angle of the ball coming through the zone. And the more angle you can create in that little window, clearly the more difficult it is for the hitter to stay on the ball square. It's kind of why those hanging sliders and hanging breaking balls usually end up on the other side of the fence, is because they sit up in the zone a little bit too long. And big league hitters can square that up.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Andrew Knapp. And he got him.
There's that slider right there. You see where it finished. Finished down.
Left fielder Andrew McCutchen.
Look at that angle right there. That's what I like. Down is what you need.
Andrew McCutchen singled off the glove of Edmundo Sosa, line drive back in the third inning, and came around to score, and a double by Realmuto. And that is the only run for the Phillies today. They about hit the Cardinals 8-4. Phillies leadoff man digging in for the fourth time today. 1 for 3 and strike one.
He's always had a really quick swing, and that's what's made him so good for so long. But that swing he's got working now seems like he's kind of swinging at the ball and backing off of it at the same time with his body. It creates the bat to go through the zone really quick, and which, like we were talking about, the opposite of what you wanted to do versus the pitch that you want. The pitch you want to go through the zone quick as a pitcher, the bat you want to go through the zone long and slow to stay on certain pitches.
He's had good numbers, 3 for 6 against Miller. The 1-1 and a base hit into left center. Run will score. McCutchen to second base, and the tying run now in scoring position. Giovanni Gallegos has been throwing in the Cardinal pen. He's seen 3 batters and a pair of doubles hit against him.
Look at the difference in the ball that we said by the feet, and look at this ball. Doesn't ever get down, and it stays out and around the plate, versus that breaking ball that he threw for the strikeout. Finishes up more down near the feet, like I said.
So pitching change coming up. Miller got 1 out. Bohm coming up against Gallegos when we return. The BJC Healthcare Difference Maker is today's starter, Kwang Hung Kim. 5 innings, 1 run, 7 hits. That was a career high allowed. Struck out 4, no walks, no homers. the BJC Healthcare difference maker. Jordan Hicks pitched a scoreless sixth. Miller third of an inning, and he'll give way to Giovanni Gallegos here at Busch Stadium. The tying run in scoring position in the heart of the lineup coming up for the Phillies. Eleven games, 13 innings. Chevy called to the pen for the Cardinal right-hander. Inning started with a double by Maton. Knapp struck out as a pinch hitter. McCutchen, his second hit in the ballgame, a double into left center to score Maton, and it's cut the lead to 3-2 in another tight ball game.
And a lot of game left too.
Right-handers have really struggled against Giovanni Gallegos. Just 3 hits, 3 for 27. And ball one.
You look at these games, if you think about it, I mean, we're already in the 7th, and you think a 2-run lead might hold up or should hold up, but all of a sudden you look, get rid of the rest of the game and look at what's going on for the next 3 innings. There's only 1 out in the 7th. Look where they're at in the order. And look how many outs you have to get just to preserve that 1-run lead. It's a lot of work still left to come for the Cardinals pitching staff.
Alex Reyes, by the way, 6 for 6 in save opportunities. It's 3rd in Major League Baseball. He's had a season high 10 1/3 scoreless innings to begin the year. Might be asking Giovanni to give you an inning and 2/3 if things go to plan. We'll see. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off the plate, 2-1. He's given up a total of 5 hits this year. Right-handed batters 3 for 27. The lefties 2 for 15. Tying run, good speed. McCutchen at second base. The 2-1. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes McCutchen. Carlson, the throw to the plate will be cut off, and the game is tied. That'll close the book on Andrew Miller. 3rd of an inning, 2 runs.
It's a slider or a curveball. Slider just doesn't get down. No chance right here. I don't know if that was a cat and mouse game right there by the third base coach, or he ran right through the stop sign, but
he wasn't going to stop.
No, he's as deep as Dylan is. He doesn't have to stop. Good base running.
So runner at first, and now Rhys Hoskins. Twice he has lined out to center and struck out 0 for 3. The 1-0 pitch to Hoskins. A ball and a strike. Tons of room on the right side. Goldschmidt holding the runner at first base. Shift on the infield. 1-1 pitch. Fouled back.
He's got a nice swing, doesn't he? But not a lot of movement. Even that ball. You know what I like even right there? That ball's beating him. It's deep. And he's balanced and swinging and staying inside the ball, and just a good swing. It doesn't really change. He just waits for the ball to get to where he needs it. It's not flying all over the place.
Cardinals have O'Neill, Kisner, Williams coming up. The 1-2 pitch. Phillies pen features two lefties, and JoJo Romero is getting loose. This game goes into extra innings, and we're a ways away, but you do have to wonder about the availability of Bryce Harper and Didi Gregorius. That would leave them with a two-man bench, both left-handed batters. The 2-2 pitch. It's the 8th strikeout in the lineup of the Phillies today.
It's a good fastball right there.
Host your group in style in a Cardinals Diamond Suite. Combinates groups of 10 or more. Diamond Suites located between first and third base include a buffet, full bar service. Perfect for celebrating any event and entertaining clients. Visit cardinals.com/suites. So 2 outs, and Realmuto, who's been on base 3 times. Single to left, double to right center, picked up a 2-out RBI, and walked first batter that Jordan Hicks saw in the 6th. Fouled back, strike 1.
Tell you what, talk about why I thought this team was pretty good and underachieving a little bit. Think about all these guys in a row taking good at bats. You're battling through the heart of the order. Pitching staff is pretty good, if not better than good. I think this team will find itself a little bit, and then at the end of the year in that East, I think they're going to be pretty close.
Should be really competitive division.
I just think they need to really they'll find themselves, and got some really good players. I mean, they got 2 of the better players in this league, and they're both not playing today. And yet you're not seeing any fall off. The guys are giving good at bats and battling. Although a lot of strikeouts, I mean, that's going to come.
The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. Andrew Miller started the inning, was able to get a strikeout, pair of doubles given up. Gallegos gave up the single that brought in McCutchen to tie it. One ball and 2 strikes, and back-to-back Ks for Giovanni Gallegos. Bottom of the 7th coming up, and we stretch. Four and a third so far in 6 games. 2 lefties in their bullpen, and Romero gets the call here. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Phillies have tied it up. It's 3-3. Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if a Cardinal hits a home run. O'Neill, Kisner, Williams for St. Louis. Shift on the left side, and the first pitch taken for a ball. O'Neill 0 for 2 today with a pair of strikeouts. Aaron Nola went 6 innings, 3 runs, 4 hits, struck out 7. Into the shift, off the glove, and the Cardinals have something going. This would be an error on Kingery. Probably had a lot of top spin. Came up.
I can see that a little bit. Like to have the hit though if you're the hometown guy, but sometimes that's a stretch.
So the go-ahead run is on. Kisner is 2 for 2, singled to right. Singled and scored back in the 5th. And the first pitch is strike by Romero. The 0-1 pitch. Little bouncer hit up the middle, could be two, steps on the bag or tagged it and gets the double play. I think he got that maybe with his glove. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Here's Justin Williams. 3-3 our score. Williams today 0 for 2. First pitch taken high. Maton turned two by going to the bag and just slapped the bag with the glove and then threw to first. Don't see that every day. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Don't see that every day. See something new every day, though.
Ryan Helsley throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Connor Brogdon, right-hander, getting loose for the Phillies. 2 outs and nobody on, and a 1-1 pitch. Williams lost the bat. Almost got our first base umpire. James Hoy down there on his tippy toes.
That was a good distance right there.
It sure was.
No batting gloves right there all of a sudden, and that's what happens. I did I was in the cage the other day with Landon thinking I'd be, just show him something really quick. I tried to take a 3/4 swing, and I think I slung the bat up into the net, and I wasn't going to be able to ever get it back down. I don't know how guys do it.
Carp's been doing it his entire career.
Know.
Brad Miller on the other side does that too.
It's amazing.
3-2 the count. And a strikeout of Williams sends us to the 8th. We're tied up. It's 3-3. Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer, and by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Three our score. 8th inning rolls in. Giovanni Gallegos came in with a runner at second and 1 out in the 7th inning. Gave up a base hit that tied the game up. Then back-to-back strikeouts. Herrera, Kingery, and Quinn for the Phillies. Big gap in right center. Lined into the glove of Tommy Edman. Discounted Cardinals tickets, 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station. using the My Phillips 66 app and get up to 50% off of Cardinal tickets. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66.
Number 13, Brad Miller.
Brad Miller will be the pinch hitter, and he will pinch hit for Scott Kingery.
Well, at least you know what you got with Brad Miller. You know you got to stay away.
Also may tell you a little glimpse into what Joe Girardi has available on his bench to go here with Miller and the potential of maybe Harper or Gregorius. Shift on for Miller, in the first pitch away for ball one. Hit a key 2-run homer yesterday.
I just think right here, I give him a base hit all day long. I just think you just throw him fastballs down and away. If he hits a line drive on a ball that you make a good pitch with out of the ballpark into their bullpen, you tip your hat and be like, this is the greatest player I've ever seen. But if you keep throwing that pitch right there, two things. He's not going to be able to do much damage with it. And two, you can see by that swing, what's he trying to do? He's trying to leave the yard to center or right center. Hopefully they learned the lesson yesterday, but not even trying to throw in breaking balls over the plate.
1-2. In the 8th, the Cardinals will have Sosa, Gallegos spot, and then Tommy Edman. Cardinals got a pinch hit 3-run homer back in the 5th from Matt Carpenter. Put them up 3-1, now tied 3-3. And the 1-2. Miller is a 196 career pinch hitter. Has 1 home run in this role. That was back in 2019. The 2-2 pitch.
Wow.
3rd strikeout for Giovanni Gallegos.
I'll tell you what, that slider right there, that is something different. You don't see the ball go down like that very often. Look at the angle that this ball just drops. Normally the slider kind of comes across down and in, but normally you could pick it up. The thing that with that slider is, you can see it coming at you, but it's on the plate. It's not the slider that is middle in and you know it's burying in. It stays on the plate and just goes down. It's almost like a split.
It's almost a hard curveball, isn't it?
Yeah, or like a split fingered fastball when it comes out, like spins a little bit and then just drops straight down. That's the one that makes it so hard to hit.
Quinn trying to bunt his way on in strike 1.
Because normally you see that slider and it's got that spin on it and you see it right away. At least you recognize it, and if you can lay off, it's just going to fall. It's going to chase you as a left-hander. That one doesn't chase you. That one just drops.
No balls and 1 strike. The corners are in. Arenado and Goldschmidt for St. Louis. And it's popped up. Tommy Edman going out, looking for help. Edman going out, makes the catch. Over the shoulder catch, Tommy Edman. It started with Kim against Nola, and now we're tied up 3-3 in the home half of the 8th here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The Budweiser play of the game off the bat of Matt Carpenter into the glove of Quinn and out and into the Cardinal bullpen, and a curtain call. The Budweiser play of the game, that 3-run pinch hit home run. Connor Brogdon is the new pitcher. Miller stays in the game at second base.
KK was loving that too. Did you see it?
Oh yeah. Off the end of the bat, and strike 1, Edmundo Sosa.
I like that hack.
Sosa's been on base twice today. Base hit to center, was caught stealing, intentionally passed in the 5th and scored. Pulls it down the left field line and foul. Back in 19, he had 17 home runs, and he strikes out here. Cardinals have struck out 9 times today. The pinch hitter will be Austin Dean for Gallegos. Inning in 2/3 by Giovanni today. Cardinals left with DeYoung and Ali Sanchez, the backup catcher, as Dean takes strike 1. That's what's left on their bench. The 0-1 pitch, puts it in play, slowly hit left side, gloved, stretched by Hoskins, 2 away.
I like this Connor Brogdon right here. Does a nice job.
Tommy Edman hitless today, but it leads us to our Kia player profile. He's been on base 36 times, second most among National League leadoff hitters, behind Ronald Acuna Jr. Phillies bullpen is not allowed to run in 8 2/3 during this series. Bare hand, no problem. How about that? And no big deal. Sends us to the 9th. Cardinals have been out hit in this ball game as we move to the 9th, 10-4, and we're tied 3-3. Chevy called to the pen will take us to Alex Reyes. Reyes has joined Ryan Franklin, who was in 2009 7 for 7 save opportunities, to be perfect in those opportunities and have 10 or more innings and a 0 ERA to start a year. Not many have done that. Only 17 pitchers in the history of baseball.
Frankie had that Nintendo slider too.
Yes, he did. Maton, then the pitcher spot, and the top of the lineup, Andrew McCutchen. Kim for 5, Hicks for a score this inning, Miller third of an inning, Gallegos inning in 2/3, and now Alex Reyes. We're in the 9th. Shift on the right side. First pitch fouled back. Nick Maton is 2 for 3. Grounded out to short, single to right, and a double into the corner and right, and scored a run.
I'll tell you what, if that first swing showed me anything what Anthony Reyes should do to attack Maton right here, would be that exact same pitch.
And the 0-1 pitch by Alex Reyes.
Oh.
1 ball, 1 strike. Reyes picked up his 6th save a couple of nights ago, win an inning, a couple of strikeouts, and gave up a hit. Jim Hayes was telling us yesterday how Reyes is enjoying this role, coming to the ballpark, games on the line.
Tell you what, if you're not enjoying this role, you might want to find another career.
A lot of talk has been about Alex potentially turning into a starter, but getting plenty of high leverage situations now. Back into the bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball, softly hit. Tommy Edman, one away. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from Cardinal Glennon.
Done. That was easy. Make your pledge for Cardinal Glennon patients just like me at homersforhealth.org. I did.
This will be Matt Joyce. So left on the bench, Harper and Gregorius.
I would be shocked to see Bryce Harper today.
Would not be shocked to see Gregorius.
Yeah, but we also don't know how sore he could be from that ball that hit him in the ribs. But I would have to say that because he finished that game yesterday, maybe a little bit more likely him than Bryce. But also, I mean, Bryce is a stud, man. If he wants to go back out there, they're going to let him go back out there.
0-2.
What better way to show you I'm here to stay? Go back up there when you have a chance to win the game and come through. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This is a tough player. He plays hard. He's gutty. So I might go backwards. It would not surprise me to see both of those guys out here if the game is on the line.
0-2, hit out of play. And a catch made by Fan down the left field line. Brought his glove. Now a souvenir. Well, I think we saw his toughness yesterday. He hopped right back up and walked straight to the dugout. The 0-2 pitch.
I feel like you see it a lot if you pay attention, and I'm not talking about getting punched, hit, knocked down. I'm talking about diving into walls, diving into the corner, diving for the extra base, sliding hard. It's just the kind of player he is, so it does not surprise me that he's up and ready to go.
2-2. Surprised me. 97 to the face and hops right back up. Just
tell you what, it could have been so much worse.
Oh boy.
I am so glad that it's not.
The 2-2 pitch. He struck him out. Reyes has gotten the first two here in the ninth. Andrew McCutchen, 2-hit day. That was nasty there by Reyes. Cardinals, by the way, in the bottom of this inning, Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado. Outfield deep, they're straight away. And ball 1 to McCutchen. Singled off the glove of Edmundo Sosa. Liner back in the third, scored. And a double. RBI, run scored in the seventh. McCutchen 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout against Alex Reyes. The 2-0 pitch. 2-1.
Ball's coming out of his hand nice and easy today, isn't it?
It sure is. 14 pitches so far. And you can see it sometimes with him when it's easy, fluid. Ball jumps out of his hand. 2-1 pitch. Popped up, out of play. 2-2.
I just wish someone would hit us a foul ball once in a while.
We have never in my time up here had a foul ball make it to the booth.
I know, especially here. Kind of bums me out every now and then. Every time we go to Milwaukee, I'm like, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one too. I might start bringing my glove.
Bring it down. 2-2.
You know what's going to happen if it does come up here. I'm not getting in the way.
Oh, I'm under the table.
Oh, I'm just going to
If
duck.
you're up here, you can handle it.
I'm going to duck it because that ball's spinning way too fast to catch barehanded.
I did save Al one day in Milwaukee. It's not been talked about much.
Well, I heard that Al was under the table.
He was scared. Three-two pitch. Struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Alex Reyes. Can the Cardinals walk it off? Dylan Carlson, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado in the bottom of the ninth. Hector Neris is into the ball game for the Phillies. They've out-hit the Cardinals 10-4. The offense supplied by Matt Carpenter, pinch hit 3-run homer in the 5th. Hector Neris, the new pitcher. We've seen Romero from the left side, Brogdon. So Romero had the 7th, Brogdon the 8th. Neris now the 9th after 6 innings from Nova. Dylan Carlson will lead it off. Carlson, Goldschmidt, Arenado, 2, 3, and 4. Interesting. A lot of times you don't bring in your closer in a tie game on the road, but when you got those 3 big bats coming up, 2, 3, I'm sure 4. Joe Girardi is saying, here's the game right now. Take my chances on the bottom of the order.
Yeah, this guy comes in usually throwing strikes, usually high 70-80% strike rate, but a lot of breaking balls and off speed to lefties. So
Joyce stays in the game. He's in left field, and Neris, after McCutchen made the final out, goes into the leadoff spot. And the first pitch taken for a ball by Dylan Carlson. Fly to center, grounded out to short, struck out. Cardinals a chance to end this homestand in a big way. It was a sweep over Cincinnati and trying to earn a split here with the Phils. The final matchup between these two teams. Carlson is 1 for 2 against Hector Neris. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. No one throwing in the Cardinals pen, so Reyes would have the 10th if we get there. Cardinals have not played in extras this year. Strikeout of Dylan Carlson. 0 for 4, couple of Ks.
Got him looking for that breaking ball. That's what happens sometimes with the stats, though, right? You see, he throws a lot of breaking balls to lefties, and so you continue to look for it, and then you get crossed up.
Ball 1 to Goldschmidt, hitless today. Cardinals 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 do not have a hit in the lineup today. The 1-0. The damage has been done in the bottom portion of the Cardinals lineup, but not a lot of it. 4 hits. The big blast by Carpenter. 2 balls and no strikes on Goldschmidt. Goldie with a high fly ball into center. Herrera under it and makes the catch. It's the anniversary of the first hit and home run for Nolan Arenado. Made his major league debut April 28th. First hit was on the 29th.
That was a split finger fastball that Goldie popped up.
Arenado hit by the pitch.
Well, he knew that was coming eventually.
Now the umpires will come together.
What do they need to come together for?
You're going to get the warnings here.
What happened to having just the home plate umpire issuing a warning?
Hit him on the bicep above the pad.
They're not going to issue a warning for that, though.
Here's a problem when you do that, though. You just put the winning run at first base.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You also got to protect your best player.
Yep.
This is the other reason why I don't like the can't break up the double play rule either. Because if I'm on first base with one out, I'm wanting to break up a double play right here.
Here's Tyler O'Neill.
And by the way, if you're going to pitch carefully to Arenado with the game on the line to pitch to O'Neill that you can throw some fastballs away to and make him do, go ahead. And that's exactly what they just did. I mean, there's no secret to that.
There's some bark in there from the Cardinal dugout. Now Mike Shildt will be ejected and has been. Well, you're Hector Neris. You're saying, okay, would I rather pitch to Nolan Arenado with nobody on or get a little retribution and deal with Tyler O'Neill?
And like I said, the only way that doesn't happen in this game at some point is if the manager goes to Bryce Harper and says, what do you think? And Bryce says, I'm good, I understand. Other than that, you got to take care of him. And I don't even think the manager would go to Bryce. I would think Bryce would end up coming in and saying, hey, Joe, I understand what's going on. I don't feel like that was on purpose. But that doesn't happen a lot. The players are ultra sensitive when it comes to getting hit and hitting the head. I know I'd want to be protected.
6th career ejection, first of the season for Mike Shildt.
What do you think the umpire is thinking right now? If I warn someone, I get to argue with an umpire or with a manager. If I don't warn them, I get to argue with an umpire or a manager. I can't win.
A 1 pitch to Tyler O'Neill. Nothing in 2. Ali Marmol will serve as the Cardinal manager now. O'Neill is struck out twice. Reached on an error against the shift. And the 0-2 pitch. Arenado is running and swung on and missed. We've got extra innings coming up. So we go to extra innings with a runner at second base. And still in the ball game, it is Alex Reyes. Matt Joyce will be the runner at second base. Remember, he was used as a pinch hitter, then stayed in the game. He struck out looking back in the 9th. Bohm, Hoskins, Realmuto. And Reyes will work from the stretch here. Always fascinated in these games how you play it on the road as opposed to what you do at home. And the first pitch is strike. The 0-1 pitch. 0-2. I think it's fascinating, Jimmy. I mean, do you bunt in these spots? Do you let him swing away? Do you trust that he can hit it to the right side, get you a base hit, move the runner over?
I think this is something that's going to be asked for years to come, because nobody bunts anymore. And hardly anyone moves
swing and a miss.
Moves a runner over anymore.
Well, you may be wondering why Neris, who went into the first position in the lineup, is not running. And by rule, by definition, if the pitcher makes a last out, the pitcher spot does not have to run. So then you go to the next one that made an out, and that was Joyce.
Kind of like
just for people that are curious about that.
Kind of like Little League rules.
A little bit.
It's about what I'm feeling with this scenario right now.
Here is Hoskins. That's a third strikeout for Alex Reyes. And a souvenir here at the ballpark. It was a 13th strikeout in the lineup for the Phillies here today. Kim went 5. Hicks a scoreless 6th. Miller, a third of an inning, gave up a couple of runs. Giovanni Gallegos, inning and 2/3. Alex Reyes had a 1-2-3 ninth. Ground ball left side and a foul ball.
Pitch right there. Someone needs a new piece of wood. Ouch.
Hoskins is 0 for 2. Pair of strikeouts against Reyes. It's a new piece of lumber. 0-2 the count. Cardinals looking ahead to their half of the 10th will have good speed at second and Tyler O'Neill. And then Kisner, Williams, and Sosa due up.
I'll tell you what. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see and get in a situation like that. You get O'Neill try and steal third. Right out of the chute. I don't know how many people are expecting that. Maybe square around the bunt a little bit and just have him get a good jump and go. To throw it right down the middle, you bunt it, bounces it, he's safe. If he throws it away, he's safe.
Now you do have one of the game's best behind the plate, but certainly you do think about it.
Well, if you're right-handed too, you stand in the middle of the box, stand there and
make it tougher.
Stay put with the bat out there, the bunt, get a good base where he can't go through you.
Here's an 0-2 pitch. Got him to reach for it. Popped up left side. Arenado giving chase, and it drops.
There's no way he gets to that ball. That is such an awful play for the third baseman. Tell you what, you see what I thought? The last second when he started to look down to where he wanted to go, you know what he's looking at? Right at the on-deck circle.
The rubber
right here,
that's there.
Right there, and he realized not going to get there.
It's that rubberized material that's on deck.
And that's a tough play for Kisner too, because when that ball first went up, he looked straight up in the air and didn't find it right away. That's a long run for a catcher, so that ball really is in no man's land.
0-2 pitch and a high fly ball. Carlson gets in a position to throw. Under it, makes the catch. Runner tags, throw into third. Double play! Yes, sir! A strike to third. Carlson, another outfield assist. A chance to win it when we come back. .3-3. That was 93 miles an hour. The strike from Dylan Carlson, and you have to love how he got himself in a position to get back. Momentum coming forward, and an absolute strike to Nolan Arenado. Double play. Love how he got back on it and had the momentum behind it.
Yeah, he did a nice job right at the beginning, and he knew too. And I knew right when he let it go is online. You know what kind of arm he has. I think the play too is Arenado stood there and he was nice and calm, and then he broke right at the last second to go get the ball. Does it just kind of give the runner a little false sense of hope?
The new pitcher in is David Hale for the Phillies. Cardinals with the winning run at second base and good speed in Tyler O'Neill. Andrew Knizner will be the batter. Knizner, 2 hits today. Single to right and a single to center.
Now, this is what I'm talking about. With all the information they got, you got one of the fastest guys in the league on second. What's the time to the plate? Does he bounce pitches? Does he throw a lot of breaking balls? You got a right-hander hitting. They're holding him on so he doesn't get a big lead.
Knizner hits it to the right side, kept on the infield by Miller, and they do get a nice pick by Hoskins, but with that, Andrew Knizner does his job and advances Tyler O'Neill to third base with 1 down.
That's a great at bat by Andrew right there. Clearly giving himself up. He almost won the game right there. Stays inside. Good job. Hits the ball on the ground. He is inches away from winning this game. If that ball bounces out of his glove 3-4 more feet, or he doesn't catch it, we're going home right now and celebrating the rest of this day at home.
Intentional walk to Williams. Infield will be brought in, and the batter will be Armando Sosa. So runners at the corners. Sosa, base hit to center, caught stealing in the 3rd. Intentional walk, run scored in the 5th, struck out in the 8th. And a chance to win it for St. Louis.
In this at bat right here, all you're trying to do, Danny, is just keep your eyes out over the plate, and you're trying to hit a fly ball into left or right center field, nice and easy. You don't want to try to do anything special. You don't want to try to swing too hard. You literally want to hit a BP lazy fly ball into right center field, and Tyler O'Neill scores easily. Don't want to take a strike. You want to just get it over with.
The 1-0 pitch. Williams was running on the pitch, and it's 1-1. All kinds of options in this spot too. You think about a squeeze play potentially with Sosa as well. But I think you'd rather him swing the bat and try to win it.
I'm not really sure what I do here with the guy on first either, because I don't want the right-handed hitter Sosa be distracted, even though they're giving you second base, which is bizarre to give it away that much.
The 1-1. Ground ball, tapped foul. Williams was running again. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See, that's what I'm talking about. He has no thought about hitting the ball the other way, hitting the ball in the air. He's just trying to hit. You'll slow yourself down. Good shot right here. He should be choking up a little bit. You got to put this ball in play.
1-2 pitch. Gets away. Here comes O'Neill. He will score, and the Cardinals win it. A wild pitch, and Tyler O'Neill scores the winning run. It's a final in 10 innings. The Cardinals win it 4-3.
Well, all the reason why I say you get a guy like that to third base as soon as possible. Take all the things in consideration. Wild pitches, slow times to the plate, strikes, who's hitting. They just basically outlasted the Philadelphia Phillies right here, and I think that's a pretty big win. Talked about they needed to win that game.
So the Cardinals get a split and a very good homestand. Sweep of Cincinnati, 2-2 against Philly, and for the club it's off to Pittsburgh. Matt Carpenter off the bench, pinch hit home run. Phillies came back to tie it up 3-3, and St. Louis wins it in 10. Let's head to Jim Hayes. Jimmy.
Matt Carpenter, the big hit in this one, a 3-run pinch hit home run. You got a knuckle curve from Aaron Nola, were you looking for that pitch, Matt?
Pretty much 100% looking for it. Had a pretty good feeling that was what I was going to get. Went up there and he threw a first pitch fastball pretty much right down the middle. And but I stuck with it, sitting on that the whole at bat, and got it and put a good swing on it.
How good does that feel to come off the bench and contribute like that?
It feels good. If he would have caught that, I think I might have retired and been up there in the booth with you. I don't know. I'm not sure I could have handled that. But it feels good. It feels good to be able to contribute and get in there and do something to help us win a game.
Yeah, Quinn almost had that. Did you know it was gone, or were you watching it? Did you see that it popped out of his glove?
I mean, the way things are going, I was just pretty much assumed he was going to catch it. And then, the way the bullpen reacted, that was my tell that I knew that it had gone over, and obviously pretty fired up.
A lot of things went right for this ball club to put this in the win column. How about Reyes, and how good was he?
Man, he's so good. I love watching him pitch. I love the way he goes out there and competes, and just the presence he has on the mound. We're watching something pretty special, and I'm definitely glad that he's on our side. Just really happy for him. He's worked really hard for it.
Last thing, how about that throw by Dylan Carlson?
I mean, nothing he does surprises me. I think we got a young superstar in the making, and he proves that every night with the way he goes out there and does it. And today was another great example of that. Just really, really good defense.
Happy flight. Thanks for the time, Matt.
Thank you.
Danny?
All right, Jimmy, thank you. The wild pitch. Realmuto couldn't keep it in front. O'Neill scores, and the Cardinals have a walk-off. First extra inning game for St. Louis. Final 4-3. Coming up, it's the post-game show.